Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Daily Dose of Anime Recaps. In this episode, we'll be covering the first 4 episodes of the anime Love Tyrant. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Seiji Aino is a high school student who is forcefully mixed up in a Cupid's business. He must help her as he's obligated to do so due to an awkward setup induced by her. As he joins the Cupid, he's trapped in a nightmare that otherwise would be a dream for any other young man. Before we begin, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update from us. One day a girl named Guri shows up at Seiji Aino's door, telling him that he must kiss someone or soon he'll die. Seiji thinks of her as a scam artist and shuts the door on her, but he freaks out when he sees her inside his home. Guri shows him a book with Kiss Note written on its cover. Seiji sees his name written on the book, and Guri explains to him that if he doesn't kiss someone in 24 hours, she'll die. Seiji thinks that Guri is throwing some prank at him and throws her out and shuts the door again. Guri makes a mess outside and constantly begs him to let her in. Seiji ends up taking her in to avoid any trouble with the neighbors. However, he's shocked when Guri says that she only needs a kiss from him to save her life. Seiji starts thinking about why Guri wants him so badly, gets flustered, and kisses her. Guri doesn't show any reaction. Instead, she shows her true colors and blackmails him by saying that he has assaulted her. She then writes the name of the Prime Minister and the House Speaker on the kiss note and then turns on the TV. Seiji is shocked to see the Prime Minister and the House Speaker kissing each other. She then shows his name in the kiss note, and Seiji sees that there is no name written next to his name. She then reveals she tried to pair boys when she mistakenly wrote his name, and now she must pair him with someone in 24 hours or he'll die a virgin. They both go to Seiji's school to find a person to pair Seiji with, when she notices a girl named Akane running toward him. Seiji asks Guri to hide so no one notices her at school, but she claims to be invisible to everyone but him, and tries to prove it by messing with Akane's trousers. But soon, she suffers a shocker when Akane questions Seiji, asking him who the girl standing next to him is. Seiji tells Akane that Guri is nothing to him, but Guri denies it and reveals that they've already kissed. This turns Akane into psychopath mode, and she draws out 2 blades to kill Seiji. She tries to stab Seiji but mistakenly stabs Guri's head instead. Seiji is shocked to see that the blade has no effect on Guri. He then takes her and runs from Akane. They both hide in a place and discuss whose name should be written next to Seiji's. Seiji suggests Guri write her name, saying they've already kissed. As Guri thinks about it, Akane stabs her from behind. Akane reveals to Seiji that she had noticed him staring at her and was waiting for his confession. She then suddenly turns into a psychopath again as she mentions that Seiji has ruined their love by kissing Guri. She decides to kill Guri first, but the next moment, Seiji and Akane kiss each other. Guri shows them that their name's on the kiss note, and she tells them that they're destined to marry one day. She then reveals her identity as a Cupid and kisses Seiji, saying that she wants to enjoy the love too, and shows her name written next to both of them in the kiss note. The next day, Guri wakes Seiji up by kissing him, and he remembers being stabbed non-stop by Akane after Guri declared her confession for him yesterday. Guri eats breakfast with Seiji's family without any problems, and Seiji learns that she used a device to brainwash his family. Suddenly a figure appears who has taken over the body of Seiji's cat and introduces himself as Guri's supervisor. When Seiji goes to school with Guri, Akane starts stabbing him again for hanging out with Guri. Guri's supervisor tells everyone that Guri's powers have immortalized Seiji and Akane because of her involvement in their love. He then explains that Guri must do his Cupid job, or they'll all lose their souls. Seiji yells at Guri for dragging them into her problem. However, Guri is careless and tries to write random people's names to create couples, but Seiji warns her to be careful doing so. Seiji ditches the class when he sees other boys giving him bullseyes to be with Akane. Suddenly, Guri kisses him and a blonde girl named Yutsu sees them kissing and thinks that Seiji is cheating on Akane. She grabs the kiss note and runs away. Seeing Guri useless because of eating too much, he chases Yutsu to the roof and asks her to return the kiss note. Yutsu generates a shield around her, which causes her to fall. However, Seiji catches her and they end up falling with Yutsu laying on him. Akane sees them both on the ground and thinks that Seiji is cheating on her again. She chases Yutsu to kill her, but Yutsu's shield once again appears and breaks Akane's blade. Yutsu writes her name next to Seiji and Akane, as she had overheard Guri about how Kiss Note works. When Seiji and Guri catch up to Yutsu, Akane appears and wants to kill Yutsu, but stops when she hears Seiji calling her by her first name. Guri then tells Yutsu that only she can write the names of the couples on the Kiss Note, or else it won't work. Suddenly, Yutsu confesses to Akane, but Akane says that she'll not fall in love with her sister, and Seiji and Guri are shocked. The next moment, Guri shows Yutsu's name written on all three of them, then asks her to kiss any one of them. Yutsu moves forward with passion to kiss Akane, but accidentally kisses Seiji, and they both are stabbed by Akane. The next day, Seiji is freaking out and asks his little sister Akua if she has met Guri, but she doesn't understand him. Seiji holds her shoulder out of affection, but she throws him outside the home. Akane instantly shows up to kill Akua, but stops as soon as she learns that Akua is his little sister. When Seiji reaches school, he sees Guri and Yutsu have opened up a clinic with the name Guri and Yutsu Sure to Solve Love Clinic, Bring on the Love, in the nurse's office to make couples of the students who have crushes. Seiji questions their actions and grabs the Kiss Note. He goes out of their clinic with Akane to find couples himself. Back at the nurse's office, Yutsu asks Guri why she loves Seiji. Guri tells him that there is something about Seiji that excites her, but she's not sure if it's love. Suddenly, they grab a flying note with a romantic poem written on it. Seiji and Akane are walking down the hallway when Seiji bumps into their class rep, Mari, who apologizes to them and tells them that she was spaced out. Akane asks Mari if she's spaced out because she loves someone, which makes her blush. She tells them that she actually wants to avoid going on a date with someone. Back in the nurse's office, Guri and Yutsu decide to find the author of the poem and pair him up with his love. Suddenly, a teacher named Nagito enters the nurse's office and asks to get back the note. However, Yutsu and Guri ask him to tell them who his crush is and assure him that they'll take care of everything for him. Suddenly, Seiji and Akane also enter the nurse's office with Mari. When Nagito sees Mari, he turns red and nervous. Mari moves forward and scolds him for messing up his appearance and then sets his tie and coat right. This makes Guri think Mari loves Nagito, and Seiji thinks Mari doesn't want to go on a date with her. Guri holds a meeting to discuss the matter and suggests they first find out about the feelings of both Nagito and Mari. Guri and Yutsu abduct Nagito and ask him to broadcast his feelings to the whole school, which causes him to run away. Meanwhile, Seiji learns that Mari reminds Nagito of her younger brother, so she can't stop caring for him. Nagito hears Seiji and Mari's conversation and remembers the time when he fell in love with Mari. Seiji finds Nagito spacing out in the hallway and tells him that he's relieved to find him. Suddenly, Yutsu appears there and tells Nagito that Mari has been kidnapped. It's revealed that Guri and Yutsu both have secretly planned to stage Mari's kidnapping, in the hope Nagito comes to save her, making both of them close. Guri covers herself with a transparent mask to abduct Mari, when suddenly they both hear an emergency alarm of a robbery in the bank. They're just passing by. The robbers take Mari and Guri as hostages to save themselves from the police. When Seiji, Nagito, and Yutsu reach there, Yutsu mistakenly blabbers about her secret plans with Guri, which makes Seiji mad. When Mari sees Nagito, she asks him to go to the staff meeting, and the robbers find it disturbing to see their hostages casually talking to their friends. Yutsu forces Nagito to save Mari and confesses feelings to her, but he is hesitant and suggests letting the police handle the matter. But Yutsu is persistent and gives a speech to motivate Nagito to save Mari. This makes the robbers more furious. One of them shoots a gun at Yutsu, but Seiji moves forward and saves her. When Mari tries to resist the robber, he threatens to kill her, and Nagito throws the weakest punch at the robber, angering him more. Suddenly, Akane shows up there and turns into a psychopath after learning that the robbers have hurt Seiji. She beats them mercilessly, making even the police sweat. Nagito then tells Mari that he'll wait for her to graduate and then he'll confess his feelings to her. But everyone gets shocked when Mari reveals similar plans. After the police try to free the robbers from Akane, Yutsu offers that they can write Mari's name with Nagito in the kiss note to make things easier. But Mari declines and wants to experience love naturally. Yutsu thanks Seiji for protecting her back there, but still plans to snatch Akane from her. And suddenly, Akane is seen running away from the media, and Akua stares at everyone from a distance. Akua has a dream of her childhood memories being saved by Seiji from a dark figure named Stolas, and wakes up blushing. When she goes to brush her teeth, she sees Guri coming out of the bathroom. Guri introduces herself as Seiji's girlfriend, and to Akua's surprise, she also knows about Seiji and Akane's love. Guri tells Akua that Seiji has a third girlfriend besides her and Akane, which makes her mad, as she rubs her toothbrush on Seiji's eyes. Later, Yutsu and Guri meet Akua in the street. Yutsu wants to partner with Akua to find dirt on Seiji to help her break him and Akane apart. This makes Akua angry at Yutsu, who asks her not to badmouth her brother. Suddenly, Stolas appears there and chases Akua. Yutsu runs away and is found by Seiji. She tells him about Stolas chasing Akua, but doesn't want Seiji to go, out of care. Seiji is shocked to see Yutsu caring for him, and goes to save Akua. Akua climbs up a tree in fear of Stolas. Guri shows up there and sees the penguin-shaped Stolas walking toward Akua. She thinks that it's just a penguin and tries to befriend it, but Stolas hits her face with his back, making Guri pass out. He then turns back to walking towards Akua, showing his lewd intentions towards her. When Seiji reaches there, he sees Guri's face turned inside and tells Akua that he's there to help her. Akua refuses to take his help, but jumps towards Seiji anyway, when Stolas seems to climb up the tree. Stolas hits his head with a tree trunk, and Akua feels satisfied in her brother's arms. While coming back home, Seiji gives Akua a piggyback ride and they talk about Stolas being captured by some special police. Akua thanks Seiji for saving her while she's blushing. Guri then makes things worse again by saying to Akua that she has feelings for her brother. Akua gets super flustered and mad and chokes Seiji. She tells him he is an idiot and then runs away. Guri asks Seiji if she wants to go on a date with him, and the next day they go on a date. They spend a lot of time the whole day, and then watch a couple sitting on a bench. However, soon a girl shows up near the bench, and the couple asks the boy why he's sitting with a girl. Soon the two girls find out the boy is a two-timer, and suddenly more of his girlfriends, including a priestess, appear there accusing him of cheating. The boy suddenly gets arrogant to his girlfriend, saying why they are bothered when he keeps everyone happy. The girl sitting on the bench with him slaps him. When the boy is about to slap her back, Seiji stops him. Suddenly, the girls beat the boy, and Seiji is roughed up in the process as well. During the commotion, the priestess's candle falls from her hand and burns the kiss note that Seiji had dropped. This later makes Seiji and Guri think about what's going to happen to all the couple's names written on the kiss note. The next day, Seiji finds Akane ignoring him and thinks it's because of them losing the kiss note. Later in the market, Yutsu makes fun of Seiji, saying that Akane is ignoring him. But when she learns about the kiss note, she starts worrying about her relationship with Akane too. Suddenly, another Cupid named Tiara shows up and says no couples will be disturbed because of the kiss note loss, then gives Guri her kiss note, which is a mobile phone saying she's leaving the Cupid's job. They all get happy to get a new kiss note, but Guri tells them they're no longer immortal because she just lost her original kiss note. Just then, Akane shows up in her psychopath mode, but this time she kisses Seiji instead, complaining that she was ignoring him on purpose. She then starts stabbing him as usual. Seiji thinks it's strange as he isn't dying, but Guri shows him she has already signed their names on the new kiss note. Yutsu remembers her mother warning her not to go closer to Akane in her childhood and being bullied by a pink-haired girl, and then being saved by Akane. Guri discovers a new application in the new Kiss Note mobile that can measure the compatibility of any two couples. When she does a compatibility check for Yutsu and Akane, the meter shows it as tragically one-sided, crushing Yutsu's fantasies. Suddenly, Seiji shows up and follows him. Akane does too. Guri measures their love compatibility, and the application shows such a strong measure of Akane's love that it starts to overload. Due to the tension between Akane's and Yutsu's families, Akane forbids Yutsu from following her, which causes her to run away crying in the rain. Yutsu thinks about Akane near a pond when a man shows up with bad intentions and causes Yutsu to activate her shield, making her fall into the pond. However, Seiji grabs her hand and saves her from drowning in time. When she opens her eyes and sees herself in Seiji's arms, she turns his face into a mess. She then questions Seiji about how Akane can love him so much, and he's also confused about it. As they continue to converse, Akane shows up and gets lovey-dovey with him, as usual. Yutsu tells Akane that she'll continue to look after her and then pays her thanks to Seiji. Suddenly, Guri shows up there and finds out that her application measures good compatibility between Seiji and Yutsu, but doesn't reveal it. The next day, Seiji has the flu, and he's walking down the hall with Guri on his shoulders. A girl named Shikimi requests they help her find her love. Guri reveals to her that she is a Cupid and tells her to name the person she loves. But Shikimi doesn't remember her lover's name and asks them to keep it a secret. Shikimi gives a doujinshi novel to Guri, and they both become instant best friends because of their common tastes. Later, Seiji sneezes badly, so Akane touches his forehead to check his temperature, which makes the other boys jealous. After school, Seiji can't find Guri and has to go with Shikimi to a place where she claims to have seen her crush for the first time. While they are talking about Seiji being in a relationship with Guri, Akane, and Yutsu, he mistakenly reveals that he's immortal, which Shikimi believes without showing any concern. Meanwhile, Guri brings her doujinshi material as she had promised to Shikimi, but she doesn't see her at their rendezvous point and surprisingly can't find her kiss note device either. When she tells Akane about the situation, she turns into a devil, thinking Seiji is off with another girl, and moves out to find him. Shikimi takes Seiji to an abandoned building where she traps him and reveals that it is him she has the crush on. Shikimi removes her disguise and turns out to be the same girl that used to bully Yutsu. When Seiji tries to struggle out of the sticky trap, she stabs him and mercilessly tortures him. On the other hand, when Yutsu and Akane learn that Seiji went with the girl named Shikimi, their faces change, depicting great trouble ahead.